Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the second official segment of the Planet Retro YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk about how you can actually go about becoming a master reseller, right? Because I get it every day. You're rich, must be nice, how can you possibly own a game like Little Samson, unless you're rich? I'm gonna tell you exactly how you do it. If you remember from my YouTube video, my original intro, I said I started with $2,000, because that's true. Started with $2,000 and no games. Well, how did I go from here, which would be like the beginning stages, right? The $15 complete in box, bases loaded 2. And how did I end up here? How did I end up with Little Samson and then above? Well, I'm gonna tell you exactly how, right? $2,000, I said, I want some extra income. How do I get it? And I apologize if this goes a little longer than 10 minutes, but I want you to have a thorough education on how this happens, right? So I started with $2,000. I had a buddy that was like, hey, I'm selling games. And keep in mind, I knew the market. I didn't know what the games were worth at that moment, but we came up with a back and forth price of, I think about $700, right? I go home and I research how much all this stuff's worth. It was worth about $5,000. So just simple math, that's about a $4,300 profit to resell. Now, the caveat was I wasn't really known back then. So it wasn't quite as easy to offload the stuff as it is now. What did I do then? I explored, I was mostly selling on eBay, to be honest, right? I was selling on eBay because I knew universally that was accepted by the community and, you could get maximum dollar or so, I thought. So eventually I just started learning new things, right? I was picking up lots, and I was selling the majority, right? So I pick up a lot for, $500. I sell all the contents for $1,000. I might keep an item, I might not. But I was taking that extra money and then reinvesting in the next thing. Because a lot of people nowadays are very hungry. They want to make money, they want these cool collections, or they want something for themselves. They want a fancy car, they want a nice house. Well, whatever you want, you can achieve. And just kind of an FYI to that, there is no limit. You can literally make as much money as you want to make. It's how hard you want to work. The reason why I structured these examples like this is because this is kind of the beginning. You start with very low-end stuff, right? And you can progress to really high-end stuff if you do it properly. But I will say there's no shortcut in this, okay? It takes a lot of serious time and effort. I was working anywhere from 16 to 22 hours a day at one point, picking up lots, traveling the East Coast, and you're gonna say, well, how did I find these, right? Because they don't just magically pop up. The truth is, they do. You keep an eye on Marketplace, you stalk it, 20, 100 times a day, whatever the case might be. You go on eBay because there's stuff on eBay. You go on Mercari because there's stuff on Mercari. There's random auctions that pop up, right? You look at those, see if there's anything enticing, And as you get your name known, people will come to you. What I actually started doing is I was creating an ad, hey, my name is Dan Shepis, also known as the Retro Gaming Guy. I buy all games. I pay higher for these systems. So I would say like N64 I pay higher for, Nintendo NES I pay higher for, and certain rare titles I obviously pay higher for too, but even fillers I'll buy as long as it makes sense. And once I got enough of a reputation doing that, it became very easy because people just come to me. They'd say, hey Dan, I need some money, what can you give me for this stuff? And I always paid fair. That's key too. If you go and offer somebody 20% of something, knowingly, mind you, because I know you're gonna say, well, at the beginning when you said you bought a collection for $700 and sold it for $5,000, or it was worth $5,000, you're absolutely correct. But I didn't know at the time that was all worth $5,000. So I had to do research. But once I started doing research, I was paying people generally. Now keep in mind, I know this isn't an apples to apples comparison, right? But I generally pay between 40 and up to 85% per item. And you say, well, how is that possible? I have no overhead. I'm online only. I have always been online only. So I can offer a higher price than most people can, or stores specifically. And I got my name out there that it makes enough sense. So once I got past this stage and I had a little capital, right? I started having a little bit of collection. I got here, we got rid of that, right? And then I was starting to move up to like Bomberman kind of stuff, right? I had $50 to $100 complete in box titles, and I felt amazing because I never was able to achieve this level. And this was probably the first when I started getting into collecting, 6 months. About 6 months into collecting, I started getting kind of cool stuff that was in nice shape, had some value, but was nothing I would consider significant, right? So let's fast forward another 6 months. I'm doing this, I'm hustling, I'm doing whatever I can to talk to people, because communication is absolutely key. And this is what a lot of people don't understand too. And I know I preach this a lot, but it's something I'm good at, and I've recognized this over the years. I'm very good at communicating, right? Making friends with people, sharing stories, hanging out with them, getting to know them on a personal level. And because of that, I get privy to a lot of things that people do not, right? Over the last 2.5 years, I've met thousands of people. And you say, how's that possible? Because I get 500 messages a day, right? Miscellaneous things. And I'm not gonna go out of the scope of this YouTube video, but I'm saying on this, they'll just be like, well, how did you get this? How did you get this? How do you know that? Just experience, trial and error, talking to people that know more than I do. There's nothing wrong with going to somebody as a source that's smarter than you are, because there's always somebody smarter than you are. There's always somebody that's been in the game longer. There's always somebody that makes more money than you, and there's always somebody you can learn from. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, knowledge sharing is key. It's essential to doing better for everybody. And if you are sitting here watching my video, living paycheck to paycheck, unsure, you love video games or something, right? And you're living paycheck to paycheck, I'll show you how to fix it. Like I said, make a name for yourself first and foremost, right? Make a name for yourself, make yourself known. Don't be afraid to have challenging conversations with people. Not in an insulting, disrespectful way, but don't be afraid to challenge somebody if you believe they're incorrect, okay? And make enough of a name for yourself that you can just do this and you say, okay, I sell NES games, right? I sell NES games, this is what I have. Or I sell a general plethora of games, Here's what I have, post up what you have for sale. And once you gain enough of a reputation, it becomes a lot easier. And once you do that, you'll get more access to certain kinds of opportunities. Somebody might need money because, God forbid they had an unfortunate event and they need money that moment. So you might be able to get something at 40% of retail just because they need money, right? I can think of several examples in my time that people were just, life things happen. They needed an extra $300. So they gave me $700 of stuff or $600 of stuff, maybe even $500 of stuff in that. So I made anywhere from $200 to $400 profit on that. What did I do? I invested it on the next thing. And in my future segments, I want to go over game investing and how it makes sense. You can be a collector and an investor. My advice to you is know your product. Don't go around and if somebody asks you about Little Samson, know a little bit about the game itself, right? Don't just know, we all know it's expensive, but do you know it's a great game? You can use 3 different characters and the level design is beautiful. And for an NES game, it's graphically gorgeous, right? Because it was towards the end of the run of Nintendo NES. You probably don't know that, or maybe you do. My point is, have education on everything you're selling. You don't have to be a master of every item you're selling. You just have to have a general knowledge of it, right? And if there's somebody that knows something, because I've had this happen too, I might be selling something and a guy like Josh Byerly, who's very knowledgeable on the topic, says, hey dude, that's actually a first print and a sleeper copy that you might not know about. I'm like, shit man, thank you. I didn't know that. But the key is you need to educate the community. And you're more than welcome to reach out to me at any time if you need tips about certain things you maybe should or should not buy. But the truth is, when you see a lot, right, posted online specifically, I know you can go to yard sales and get deals there because that's a thing too. I have friends that go to yard sales every Saturday and Sunday during the nice season, and they have nice pickups. I've honestly never had luck at yard sales. I've maybe went to 2 or 3 that I've done well, but most of my luck has been through friends of friends, right? eBay, Marketplace, Mercari, Let Go when that was a thing, Craigslist, and many other and yard sale sites. Like I said, I would make an ad and say, hey, I buy games. And, they'd be like, oh, I have some Wii games that are sitting here. Oh, I have some Nintendo games that have been sitting in an attic for 20 years. Oh, I have some Genesis games that are in my car that I forgot about. Whatever the case might be, people always need money and they always have something to sell. Your amount of hustle hard work and effort are going to determine how well you do. So I'm going to end this segment, but all I will say to you is you can absolutely do well. You can be a master reseller, but don't be afraid to learn from other people. Don't be afraid to challenge conversations when applicable. And don't be afraid to use your personality in a unique way to connect with people to potentially get opportunities on new deals. I thank you again for watching, and I promise I'm going to cut myself out of hitting the stop button for this video eventually, but you guys are awesome. I always appreciate the support, and if you want to hit the subscribe button, I would very much appreciate it. Once again, I'm going to have good content every single day if possible, but at a bare minimum, once a week. So have a great day, game on, and thank you again.